Hello everybody, Bimerao is here. Now, today I want to talk about the best metal albums of 2021 so far. All right, so it is in alphabetical order, so let's get to it. The first one for me is Adenosium with the imperative imperceptible impulse. Adenosium will certainly pop up in many year-end lists, I believe, not only due to the quality of the album, but for standing out as a very innovative, experimental, and unconventional band. Is it for everyone? Certainly not. It's not even for a big segment of the metal community, but it will captivate the metal listeners with an open mind and looking for something challenging and distinctive. Very good album with the potential to grow further on me, as it is that kind of album that it takes time. Next one, Artillery with the album X. Artillery delivered their 10th record as if it was a debut. It's ruthlessly heavy, it's catchy and pure heavy metal. The fusion of 80s thrash with traditional heavy metal is perfectly executed, creating some headbanger tunes to sing along with our fists in the air kind of environment and vibe. A very good thrash metal album that will please new and old fans looking for that perfect mix of melody and aggression. Next, Asphyx with Necroceros. Recorded during the lockdown, the band's 10th studio album, Necroceros, is heavy and vicious. No room for fillers, just 10 heavy tracks in 50 minutes. It also sounds great, clear and bombastic. There is just something so captivating about this album from the first to the last track. Is it a revolutionary album? No, but it's well written, executed, and produced death metal with a hint of doom metal. This was the best album of January 2021 and probably will stay at the top of the 2021 overall list in December. Next one, Bloodbound, Creatures of the Dark Realm. Bloodbound is back into form with a non-apologetic, blistering power metal album as it should be. Despite a couple of fillers and a lack of originality, the album delivers what we expect from sing-along power metal. That means bombastic choruses, enough aggression, and a huge amount of melody and hooks. That can only be successful due to the group songwriting and execution of almost all songs on Creatures of the Dark Realm. Power metal fans can go for it without any doubts. Next is Gojira with Fortitude. Gojira knocked this one out of the park. A great album which will certainly head many year-end lists in 2021. They were able to masterfully combine old-style Gojira with experimentation and ambience. As a result, the album is diverse and super interesting. On top of it, it all comes down to great songwriting. There are no bad songs, and even better, there are a handful of great ones. Yes, some of them are different and not as heavy, but it works, at least for me. I think it's already a 21st century masterpiece, and I don't use this word often, but Fortitude is already a top of the decade contender for me. Now, Halloween with a self-titled album. You know, this album is a big thing because it has the return of Hansen and Kisk. But despite their return, the album doesn't sound much different than previous records from the Andy Darius era. It is not a bad thing, but a missed opportunity in my opinion. With that said, the album is very good and shines at moments. Skyfall is an instant classic, and many songs call back subtly to other phases of the band. All in all, the self-titled 2021 album has a little something for every Halloween fan, old and new, and the execution is outstanding. Highly recommended for any power metal enthusiast. Still on the power metal reign, we are next with the Order Ogan Final Days. Order Ogan has been delighting us with solid power metal albums for a few years now. It's a modern and dark side of power metal. The songs feature fat and modern riffs, epic choruses, and melancholic orchestral arrangements. Despite some lows on the second half of the album, I'm still having lots of fun with it. Again, a very good album. I can't wait to see them playing those songs live. Next is Sacred Oath, Return of the Dragon. Return of the Dragon is a very good pure metal album without any frills and yet diversified with no creativity boundaries. While not super original, Sacred Oath creates an interesting mix of styles that capture the attention, and it's a lot of fun. If you just want some good old traditional metal with a touch of modern metal, then Return of the Dragon is the way to go. Next is An Imperial. Soen sure isn't an instantaneously accessible music, but with a bit of listener patience, album after album, they have proved to be one of the most prolific creators of rewarding pieces of progressive music today. Quite honestly, I prefer any Soen album over any Opeth album after Watershed. I said that it might be very difficult for some fans to hear that, but it is what it is. For me, that's how I feel, and you can't argue with personal preferences. Next, Therion, Leviathan. Therion revisits their roots with Leviathan, a straightforward stereo album full of potential new fan favorites. While not bringing new ideas, it's a powerful, bombastic collection of songs with good level of variability and dynamism. Several guest singers, tempo changes, lyrics in different languages, all those choices make the album very interesting, and each song has its own character. A very good album for longtime fans. For those who never got into this band, Leviathan won't change your mind. Next, Todd Latorre with Rejoice in the Suffering. Rejoice in the Suffering is the debut solo album by the Queensryche vocalist Todd Latorre. The first 4 songs on the albums are just great, a punch in the face. It's pure metal overdose. Todd showcases all of his vocal abilities. The album also displays a sounder metal sound, reminding us of Pantera or Black Label Society. Overall, very good album that left me with a wish for more, so I'll be waiting for the sophomore release. Tribulation, next one in line, Where the Gloom Becomes Sound. We all know Tribulation makes this black metal without blast beats and highly influenced by gothic rock in a way that's quite unique and satisfying. The thing is that Jonathan Hulten did the bulk of the songwriting on this album, and surprisingly, in December last year, the guitarist left the band he started after 16 years with it. That leaves us with a big question mark where the band is going. Maybe it will force Tribulation to evolve their sound and incorporate other influences. For now, if you enjoyed the last 2 albums, Where the Gloom Becomes Sound is just a big pleasure to listen to on the same lines of the previous ones. Last but not least, Witherfall, Curse of Autumn. Witherfall's Curse of Autumn is one of my favorite albums of 2021 so far. This band executes excellent modern progressive power metal. It's dark and heavy and yet melodic and catchy. You can't go wrong with it. A very good album that should end the year high on my list. That's it for today. So those are my favorite heavy metal albums of 2021 so far. Be metal always.